Hello and welcome to the HearthFire. So today is the summer solstice. Happy Litha. And I've just finished picking the garlic scapes from the garden. It seems highly appropriate and symbolic maybe to be picking our first harvest from this year's garden on the summer solstice. So join me in the kitchen and we'll prepare our harvest feast. It's just Glenn and I this year, just the two of us, so it's not going to be a big feast. It's just going to be something simple, but we'll enjoy it nonetheless on this wonderful summer solstice. Hey everyone, so welcome to the kitchen. It's been a while since I did a HearthFire video, so I figured the solstice was a good time as any to do one. So I am preparing our meal for the solstice for Glenn and I. So we are doing oven roasted potatoes, and we're going to do some hot Italian sausage on the barbecue, and of course the garlic scapes, which I will be preparing as well. So basically with the oven roasted potatoes, now these are not homegrown potatoes, sadly. What I do with these is I cut them up into bite-sized pieces, or at least what I call bite-sized pieces, so you know, kind of cubed. This way they will actually bake quite quickly in the oven. So I'm just going to finish chopping these up. So I hope you're having a great day. Oh, it's hard, really quite hard to believe that it is the summer solstice already. Like, where the heck did the days go? Oh my God. It's just so hard to believe. It seems like yesterday we're still waiting to get in the garden. You know, the season is so late. It's just hard to believe. Anyway, but the summer solstice is a wonderful time. It's a happy time. It's a time of joy, a time of sunshine. You know, all the happy, wonderful things, good, positive energies. It's the time of the sun god and the grain king and everything else that is associated with summertime, abundance. So I've cubed up my potatoes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle some olive oil all over these. Now this is some flavored olive oil. It's flavored with rosemary. This is some that I got for Christmas. So I'm just going to drizzle some of that over top. Just like that. Don't need too much. Last time I made these, Glenn said I used too much oil, so whatever. And then my secret ingredient for these oven roasted potatoes is lemon pepper seasoning. So I'm just going to, a generous spoonful, and just sprinkle it over, just like that. And then we'll just stir it all up, get it all coated and mixed up. And then these will go into the oven for 45 minutes. And it usually doesn't take much longer than that because they are cut fairly small. And then once these are in the oven, I will give them a head start, like I said, 45 minutes. Give them, 15 minutes start, and then maybe go like the barbecue and start on the garlic scapes and that kind of thing. So we'll get on to those things right away. While we're waiting for the oven to heat up, I've got it turned on to 375 for the potatoes. I just thought I'd mix myself up a summertime drink, and my preferred summertime beverage is a simple gin and tonic. For me, it is the most refreshing beverage after a long, hot day in the garden. Cheers and happy solstice. All right, so I've just put the potatoes in the oven and I've washed up the garlic scapes. So I'm just going to cut them up a bit and then we'll get them going. I've set a timer for the potatoes so that, I can judge when I need to go start the barbecue kind of thing. So this is a garlic scape. So basically what this is this part here, this little bubbleless part, that's what would turn into the flour if we were to leave it on. This would flour, and of course it would look like if you've ever seen the ornamental onions, the alliums with the big poofy floral heads. So that's what it would produce if we had left it on. But of course we don't want to leave it on because we want the plant to bulk up the bulb. We want its energy to going into the garlic bulb rather than the flowers and the seeds. So I'm just going to trim off. I'm just trimming off kind of that bulb part. So I've got some smaller pieces, and then those will be easier to saute, and they'll be quite tasty with some butter. So as I was saying, the solstice, it is summer solstice here, winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. Our gardening season, like I said earlier, like I say a lot, is quite short, so it seems weird that our growing season is basically just getting underway when the year is half over. You know, sometimes I do envy those people with longer growing seasons. I often wish I had a garden in England somewhere with that more temperate climate, but you know, the grass is always greener on the other side until you get there, and then, you know, they have their own problems and issues and growing stuff too. So but the biggest problem that we're having is basically, it's, lots of people will say it's associated with climate change, is the weather extremes. You know, last year we had basically drought conditions because we didn't get any rain. The year before that, it was so wet that the fields were flooded out, and I'm hoping we don't end up with that again. You know, it'd be nice to have some moderation, to have everything just not necessarily be easy, but have things line up better for us so that we're not quite so exhausted at the end of the day. You know, like we're both just, like I said, we're both just spent. By the time we crawl into bed, you know, normally I'm a light sleeper and it takes me a long time to fall asleep, but lately I'm asleep quite quickly now, just because from sheer exhaustion. So I guess if I had to make or do some solstice magic or make a wish or whatever, you know, it would be to have everything line up so that we're not working quite so hard, so that, you know, when things need to be done, they get done, instead of you know, taking a back seat to something else that suddenly pops up and needs to be taken care of. You know, like Glenn has all sorts of things he has to do, but last week he spent dealing with the basement because it had to be dealt with, right? You can't just have water coming into the basement and not deal with it, right? So, and that's the kind of things that we're facing with the garden and stuff. So anyhow, I'm going to finish up cutting these up, and then we'll get them sauteing in some butter. All right, sausages are about to go into the barbecue. Hot Italian, very appropriate for summer solstice. And well, I just put the sausages on the barbecue, so I am about to saute the garlic scapes. So I'm just melting some butter in the pan here. Almost ready. And then I'm going to put our garlic scapes into the pan, and that's easy as that. And we'll just let them saute and cook in that butter. Might add a little bit of salt to them. There we go. Lovely. You know, we wait all year for the solstice. We all wait all year for the summer to be here, for the warm temperatures, for the sunshine. You know, to be able to go outside and not have the air hurt your face with, you know, freezing temperatures. So, you know, it's the summer solstice is about having fun and enjoying life You know, life is so challenging right now, and I think sometimes we need to be reminded that we need to take time to take it easy and have a little bit of fun, because otherwise, you know, we just get overwhelmed, and then we get ill, right? We get sick. So just a little bit of salt on there to brighten up those flavors and colors. And I am so grateful to have harvested our first crop from the garden on the summer solstice. I think that is just absolutely amazing. I think that is so appropriate, and I'm hoping it's a good sign of things to come for the rest of the season. You know, I'm hoping that we haven't done too much. I'm hoping we can handle what we've planted. But the solstice, you know, if you're looking for, you know, symbols, colors, you know, bright summer colors, you know, symbols are sun symbols, you know, stones are nice bright sunny stones that have that summertime energy, like citrine, you know. Symbols are, you know, fresh, you know, sun symbols. Some symbols can be, you know, the green leafy plants. It could be something that you've harvested from your garden, you know, those nice, bright, cheerful summertime colors and items that you only find during the summer, you know. So fresh fruit, the early summer fruit, like strawberries, would be appropriate for food, and anything that you've harvested from your garden, like lettuce, would also be appropriate for summer solstice. So it's celebrating the solstices doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be precise. You know, like most pagan pasts, you know, you have to listen to what's right for you. You know, do your research. Find out, and the best way to find out what works for you is to do it. You know, is to just sit down and do it, and plan a celebration. You know, if you know today's the solstice, but maybe you want to do something for Lunasa. Lunasa's coming up. Sit down, do some research, and do something. It can be as simple as sitting outside and appreciating the day. You know, it doesn't have to be complicated. You know, I mean, so much of what we have for our path is from Europe and Britain. You know, the British and Europe Celtic tradition that's kind of where we get our Wheel of the Year from. And of course, here in Saskatchewan, it doesn't always jive, right? Because like I said, our growing season is just getting underway rather than being halfway over or halfway through. So we have to adjust that. We have to adjust that Wheel of the Year and the Sabbats to our own place and time and where we're at. So that's one of the things that I have learned over the years, and I love celebrating the solstices. I love decorating my house for each one and changing up the tablecloths and the decorations. But I try to pick things that are relevant to where I'm at, right? So these garlic scapes are smelling absolutely amazing. Yeah, awesome sauce. I've turned them down because I don't want them to burn, and I'm just going to have to go out and check on those sausages and turn them over. Now, don't those look yummy? Sausages on the barbecue. Potatoes are out of the oven, sausages are off the barbecue, and the garlic scapes are ready. And while I was waiting for everything to finish up, I mixed up a Caesar salad. So a Sabbath celebration or meal, it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. The most important thing is your intention. So thank you for joining me in the kitchen around the hearth fire. Happy solstice, and maybe we'll do it again for Lunasa.